All right, there's something very interesting in this first fight. I want you to see if you can see what he does here that is in particularly interesting. I doubt it. Look how quickly he just wipes this guy out, right? Now, let me explain. So he's wingsuiting. This guy's 150 HP. He lands a bunch of ramps as he slides. Now, from this position here, most players, I mean most, would attempt to go around the right. Because if you, say, do a sprint jump shot here, you've got a right-hand peek as you kind of go around this wall. So it makes a lot of sense. However, Boltz does not. He sprints to the left, blocks off the floor that angle, manages to piece him, and then gets the kill. Now, watching this from the other player's perspective, it might... I was going to say this guy doesn't have a shotgun, but he just picked one up there. Might open your eyes a little bit more to what actually happens in this instance. Everyone predicts a sprint jump to the right. So in this instance, that would be 2 Vax's left. So from here, you can see he high walls and blocks the side in case Boltz goes round. So he's already looking to the left, and he's trying to piece that direction, but Boltz is now already moved over to the right. And he's obviously edited this cone, he's got the floor, he tries to get out, he's in the piece, and he's dead. So this also works for a few different reasons. Imagine I'm the other player here in this scenario. If I see him, say if I reset that, and I can see the player going through the wall, I think I'm going to be able to right-hand peek and then place a wall to block it. But again, because he's sprinting, you usually can't. And also, when I get pieced over, so let's say I'm Boltz from this scenario, I come up, I place all my floors, and then when I double down, so he did this edit, which is, you know, pretty 50-50 as I mentioned. But from this angle, if you do this edit instead with a floor, you actually have a right-hand peek. So you walk around the left, but you grant yourself a right-hand peek depending on where they are. Because if they're here, I mean, what can they see from here? If they're down here in this angle, they don't have much of an angle to shoot you at either. And in order to place a wall to block, you have to like walk really far up, you know, or hit back. Like if you're here, the actual placement of it is so particular in order to actually hit one. So by walking around the left and grabbing doubles like this, you grant yourself basically a much better right-hand peek. I'll be honest, I don't have much to say on this Elim, other than the fact this is true humiliation. This is literally a humiliation ritual. Blocks everything, triple edits down. He hits the wingsuit in his own box into the one pump. Unfortunate. There's a lot of really nice stuff in this element, but he is basically just free building for the most part. But notice right here, he's in this awkward edit. He's messed up the wall, and now he's changing angles, and he does a little slide onto the ramp to keep himself going up. So I can't do this very well, but one of the things I saw Shark do is when he was pressuring a player, the box was like down here, for example, on this angle. And what he would do is he placed a ramp and a wall, and then he sprinted and double edited and slid like that, and then got onto the wall quickly. Most people are, I'll be honest, not going to have the mechanics to be able to do that. But you can still do something like this at the same time where you're sliding in endgame to cover your back as you keep going. Then he just kind of starts to free build afterwards yet again. He's just kind of triple editing up, doing quad edits. I mean, I could analyze this, but he's just going crazy. There is one particular part that is very nice on this, though. He's obviously hit the other player. He jumps onto this wall, and notice he places the stair down, and then pickaxes in and tries to, like, do the wall phase. Now, the best way to practice wall phases, we've just released a new version of the Training Hub, which I've already been using this. Search Reisshub. In there you go, and bosh, we have it here. It's the Training Hub version 2. Like it, obviously. Jump in. So if you go to the Pro Mech section, and then there's actually a phase-in bit we've done in here. I prefer to practice this on the cone setting, to be honest. There you go, and I'm in. The goal is to make sure you're still sliding as you hit the wall. The timing of it is very odd. You're basically trying to jump, hold forward, and then press crouch. As you can see, I went there. And just before you hit the ground, depending on how close you are to this, you swing the pickaxe again. And then you're in. See, I kicked him out. That's funny. Same thing on the ramp. And then, of course, you can also focus on the ramp phase. I'm really bad at this. I did it once, okay? The fact I did it once, I'm not going to keep recording that anymore. He fails, so he gets in a second time. But it's a really good awareness from him that he notices he's actually in the shield. I've forgotten what it's called, the fizz. So then he jumps up high, and then he obviously waits. See, he blocks the walls on this side to prevent the other player from doing like a side jump shot again to this guy's right. So he's already blocked any opportunities this guy might have to do a side jump shot. And a lot of people from this situation would kind of piece this side. They'd double edit, they'd edit this wall and then place cones and full box. Because most players go backwards, right? So most players go backwards when you try and upgress them, as he was to this wall that was down below. But he's obviously watching the footsteps, hits the double, grabs that. And if you noticed his little crosshair movement there, went to the right to grab this wall as well. So he grabbed these two walls and that one as he dropped in, which most people kind of mess up, to be honest, because this one's awkward to get. Ironically, this guy actually managed to get the wall at the time, and then he finishes it off. Also, another thing I find, it's not interesting, not at all. But because he's double mythic weapons and an HP advantage there, he jumped in the box. He didn't try and stay piecing from above. He was okay 50-50ing. But as soon as he got the kill there, he didn't edit this cone, right? This is his cone. He could have edited this tile to protect himself from like a shot afterwards. He just pumped and immediately swapped to the SMG to try and like finish the fight. Like he knew he might take some damage in that, but he has the health advantage and he has 2 mythics. So he's just jumping in the box 50-50ing. This fight is over in like a matter of 5 seconds, but I love the way he starts this here. You know, he's flying towards, and the opening damage is really, really key here because he accidentally bumps into a wall. Like he's trying to piece him here. But as you notice, he starts sprinting into it. He'll then jump from the sprint jump, place the ramp, and then immediately pull out his shotgun, all in like a matter of milliseconds there. So as he's doing this tiny sprint jump, he just peeks out and hits a 127 onto Ellie Epstein. Interesting name. And then, yeah, you've got the mythic SMG. This guy's building wood. He's trying to piece. He's cutting off angles, as you can see. He gets through, manages to get in, and kills him. Another thing, as you notice here, though, in the exact same scenario as that first fight, when the wall's placed over him here, he does cone around to the left yet again. I mean, in this instance, it might be slightly different because obviously the other player can't walk through this. So from his perspective, he can't like box out into this. So he's now basically covered all 3 exits whilst going this way. And then he edits down to block off that exit yet again. Then he just whips out the SMG. This guy's already in. I mean, it's going to be over. He managed to phase in there, which is crazy. But the other player was obviously placing the ramp at the same time. And then, yeah, it's just over. Now, the way that he approaches boxes is really interesting because if you see this guy's here, I want to show what I think most people would, consider the better play in this option, right? Is that you have these 2 boxes here, and which way you attack these boxes can really determine the difference between how fast you finish the fight and how, you know, slow and long out is. Excuse me, holy moly. So yeah, what angle and which wall you choose when you see a 2x2 is really important because, say for example, you go into the end and you just go for this wall. Well, obviously this guy's going to be here. He can place a ramp and there's a wall in between. Assuming that he's placed those. So he has 3 build... I don't know why I'm sneezing so much. So yeah, you don't want to go into the wall at the end because you can have 3 build pieces. This guy has the chance to heal. Obviously, he's already in a grenade and whatever. So he can already tell that he's in this box. If you go for this wall here, well, the problem is that then Billy, FaZe Billy OMG, can use this wall as a right-hand peek against this here. So another option then would be to attack and go from the other side and to take the wall at this side, or this side, or this side, right? You have a bunch. But again, on the ends, it doesn't really make a huge amount of sense because the player can then back off into this box and again can create like 3 layers. So you always kind of want to go for one side. Of course, down here too. Going from the top, in this instance, isn't really great either because you don't really have access to any of the walls for good angles because they can always like run under you if they've got builds there. You know, you can place cones on top to prevent them getting out, but generally, like, in solos, you won't see many players going from the top unless they're diagonally from the top against a good player like this and then going this way. Or say you go diagonally here on top of this tile and then you're like fighting here. You won't often see good players just go for the actual tops. So what Boltz does though is he goes up and he blocks everything. So if you notice, he's already cut off a bunch of angles. So he places the doubles on this side here and then he's coned both the tops. So pretty much from this point, FaZe Billy OMG has lost all ability to go this way or vertically because he can't go out through his tops either. Obviously, like, you know, if you're boxing up, you put some cones on your box. I don't know what you're doing here. So that means he's probably almost definitely going to go into this direction. He does a good job, though, of approaching a weak wall. Like, I think a lot of players in this scenario would go into this wall. I think I would go into this wall, and I actually think this wall's better for the vast majority of people because if you're like fighting a good player and you drop directly onto this wall, they're gonna hug inside this box and then just hit you with like a right hand peek shot here. However, Boltz drops down and then just insta hits. Like, notice the second pickaxe was as he was falling, and then he's got this right window straight in the wall. I don't know really sure why he didn't bother like coning. Maybe he thought the other player would have like a cone in his box at that time, whatever. And then managed to get that, gets the code in, and then just grabs the wall between and kills. Obviously, this guy's like not particularly great, or by any means. So you can see he stays close, pickaxes once, and then as he's dropping, so he's basically still mid-swing, then he hits the wall, grabs it, tries to instantly go for the right window before the other player can react, and then he hits the nice 150 shot. This is when we're practicing. This is really important because if you actually look at, say, the angle you take from here. So most players, they're actually fighting in a like high level tournament. They're going to pickaxe from this angle, slide a cone in, and then, you know, try and get the kill from here. However, one of the big problems with this is the fact that for the most part, we're going to get blocked. So I'll put the player down there. I'm not going to see him. There you go. From here, another player is going to probably do this and try to place cones on you. So you're going to get blocked. So what a lot of the best players are actually doing is in this scenario, the reason he pickaxes and drops down here, pulls the pump out, is because then if that player tries to do something like this, he can, you know, get the shot off. And he's got the control of this, and he's got the control of the cone if he needs to, you know, do anything or get out. And if the player doesn't do this, then they have much easier access onto the wall. Because at the end of the day, like, doing this kind of edits up here is kind of annoying. And from this player's perspective, say if you're the guy in the box, like, they can just still just run out this edit. They can escape pretty easily. So learning that practice of, like, pickaxing, dropping down, and in this instance, he got the window, taking the shot, super valuable. And you can see a kind of good example of that when he's fighting this player, right? He's third-partying this. There's Goat Manu here. So as he approaches, he doubles here and doubles here. So he's cut off 2 exits yet again, kind of similar to how he starts every single fight. Now you can see what the other player is doing. He starts to box in the other direction. So as Boltz drops down here, you can see from this angle, right? The other player is going to reset that middle wall that's in between. But even if Boltz takes this wall here, the other player can just place a ramp and it's going to be slow, which might give the other player an opportunity to get one of the med grenades down, maybe pop a mini or something like that. You know, so it's not really giving him a good opportunity to actually apply pressure. So he'll start to swing around this left, and as soon as he sees that ramp go out there, right, he has the opportunity to start pickaxing. He's like, okay, no point. I'm not going to do that. So he sprint jumps up, blocks the angles from the front whilst landing on that floor, which is like a really nice little sprint jump mechanic there. Cone's expecting this player, I think, to maybe go through or maybe go over. I'm not sure what the thought process was. And then sits back. Like, notice how he just swung back here, which I'll show you back in a second. And then sprints through and hits a really, really nice shot on the bottom right floor. There's also another thing he does here that is very minorly, not very majorly important, actually, is the fact that he's sitting so far back. And notice, he confirmed the edit, and then instantly sprinted and pulled out his pump. If you notice here, as I sprint, if you just press sprint again, like, a lot of people don't end up just doing this to actually stop themselves sprinting. I feel like a lot of players in this scenario, say where he does this edit here, to get into it, they'd like try and slide, but like your crosshair also like dips as you're doing that, and it's way harder to hit a shot as you do that. But from his instance, he hit this and they just sprinted and then pressed like sprint again, or maybe he pressed fire. You can do that too, where if I sprint, press fire, it'll, you know, it's not going to make me shoot, but it's going to do that. So instead you can do this and then just shoot straight after. So if you're doing like an edit, say I'm on a right hand like this, you can do a tiny little sprint to adjust yourself very quickly here. It's really good that if you're, say, attacking diagonally and then you take like a middle window, for example, and you do that was maybe a little too much of a sprint. Tiny sprint like this, you're going to get into a good angle. You're going to have peeker's advantage, get the shot, and then sprint away as well. So in that example, it looks like bang, away. I mean, you don't need to run away because you can probably just reset that. He just starts to bully this guy then underneath. So you can see him. He actually caught wind of where he was there. As he was dropping, you could see his legs that he was sitting camping on that ramp. So as he drops, he doubles, grabs the cone, and then he's in this position, very similar to one of the previous fights we saw. Hits the middle window, grabs the wall here, and then insta-resets to block out the shot. You can see he's holding the wall as well. Gets it, hits the peanut butter edit. I mean, this guy's now pump locked, right? He's just shot his shot. He has to wait before he can shoot the second one. So this guy might sit and spray. Yeah, he's switched to his assault rifle to try and get himself out of here. So he goes for the shot, minimum, unfortunately, and then he's just holding, blocks the side as well. Hits the bottom right 3 to try and bait this guy out to shoot again to block him. So he doesn't. Oh, he does actually. He does it to get back. And then he reset. I obviously things there. He went for the top row. So a lot of the times, just for reference, if you're going to try and pump block someone with that, you want to give them an opportunity to hit you with a right-hand edit for them, which is why I did the kind of bottom 3 there. And it seemed like this guy's reaction was very slow. So he didn't think, oh, this guy's going to shoot, and then he ended up shooting afterwards. A lot of times what players will do is they'll do a top row edit so that the player can't run out of it, and then they'll scroll reset, which you actually saw him do there. And then he's redone this top row because now it just gives him the freest shot to hit him whatsoever. This guy has to... The only real way you can hide from a top row is if you, like, crouch under it. And most players aren't fast enough or in the position enough to actually do that. So he hits him, he holds again, he waits... The pickaxe is out. He can see here. He tries to swing through. Then he takes the pump. So he holds, waits until the guy's pumped, and then just hits the little window. Just humiliates him by standing still. Doesn't even move. I do like, again, he hit the cone edit there. So as that guy was trying to run through, he hit the cone edit, and then grabbed the walls behind him to make sure this guy couldn't, like, run or sprint out. It's funny. There's, like, a big gap, as you see here. I swear he just started lagging. It looks like he was like this character model wasn't moving very correctly and just gone AFK in the storm. So this could have been like an even higher elim game if he didn't A, have no one to fight off spawn, and B, have like this gap where he was just AFK. What's really funny is so many of these clips are literally just like him free building. Just doing triples and quads. Over to the side, just being crazy. Gets the code full box, jumps in and kills him. To me, the one thing I really like about watching players like Boltz is that some of the fundamentals are so good, right? So he takes, tries to take that same angle and edit, right? This guy obviously already was ready for it. So he drops down to this right side. And because that guy's already edited that wall, like this one over here, he's probably not going to just re-peek it. So now Boltz attempts to take this. You think this probably isn't like a great angle because you're swinging onto a left. But he doesn't like overcommit. He doesn't like run in the box. He still has the opportunity to kind of reset this wood wall that he's worked with and maybe even hit this cone. Probably not the best angle to do it from. Notices he's got a ramp there again, so there's 2 layers. So he starts just to block and jump up. He's trying again to block a bunch of the tops. You notice he does this a lot and he drops down. And just like the speed at which he pulls out the spray weapon. I know it's like a very, very basic mechanic, but just to double edit and then drop with your AR. And like he's already spraying before his head's like even visible through this. And like the speed of doing that doesn't give this guy many opportunities to go for anything, right? So as soon as that guy goes to the window edit, you can see the wall's replaced. This guy's then mucked up the shot, which then means he pumps. So he can pump. It's basically like wall double edits, gets the SMG out, wall replaces, edits, and pumps before this guy edits the cone. I'm sure a lot of people out there, you know, unless you're a pro, if you wall replace like a, you know, well, just wall replace a wall, funnily enough, the chances are you're not fast enough to hit the shot before they can cone edit. Like me personally, every single time I wall replace, they're getting that cone edit off and going through. So he managed to get that off, and then it's just a simple switch to the SMG, cone replace, and realize he doesn't have a shot, and then kills him with the SMG. Now, if you watched my videos before, you'll know one of the most valuable things I think to practice is just wall replacing itself and the mechanics behind that. So in this instance, I've got a box here where I can just sit, quickly edit, and replace. And I think just doing this as part of your warm-up is incredibly vital. I'm doing a video right now, spoilers for my main channel, where I'm doing a bunch of mechanical practice. And this is something I've been doing literally every day. And I think like the muscle memory of this is just so unbelievably valuable. Because when you look at most fights, this is what the vast majority are going to go down to, right? Obviously, this cone edit, there's probably going to be another player in the box, but you can practice like sliding a cone in. You can practice like not doing anything with the cone, just going for the wall and then editing quickly and going for pump before they edit the cone as before. Super, super, super valuable. Would recommend it. Like, look at this kill. Like, what is he doing here? Like, what is this? The game must be so fun if you can do this, right? Same thing. In 140, dead. Like, I'm sorry, Kubis Cow. No, it wasn't Kubis Cow. Whoever that was, you just don't stand a chance. Is that the thumbnail of this video? I think it might be. Something like this. That is hilarious, bro. What is he cooking in the solo cash cups? This is actually an insanely good play against basically any level of player, right? This is something I would recommend the vast majority of people learn because no matter who you're playing against, it nearly always works, right? So notice he goes up, triple edits, and then gets a box that's now diagonally across from the other player, right? Like, setting up diagonally is pretty much the safest way you're ever going to be able to fight because they're always going to try and hit you in a right hand on this wall or whatever. But in the odd instance where people get a little too dicey, you know, they get a little saucy, you can see Boltz hits his wall once and then just takes the pump out, waits, hits the shot, and then this guy's made the mistake of not having a ramp in. So if he did have a ramp or didn't have a ramp, you could reset the wall to block the shot instead. But yeah, he just places the ramp in, resets, hits the wall around him because there's another player around there, and then just sprays in and manages to get the kill. Actually gets the floor there. Very fast floor replace to notice rather than... I would have just tried to spray it and kill there. But now look at the way this guy moves. Like, what is going on? Same thing again. Now, later into the match, he's set up diagonal, right? The wall was weak. He can reset. Hits the reset. This guy hits a window, and then this guy's just dead. So you can see, especially like later into games like this is, like when there's way more people third party, like there's still 40 players left alive, you can't just be as crazy. Like you have to set up in specific ways with blocking other angles and stuff like that. And every single time he does this, it's usually, well, not every time. The last 2 times, that's just been diagonal with a couple walls to protect himself from everyone else. So this is another nice one. Someone lands next to him, hits him with a little pump there as he jumps to the fizz. You can see his intention is just to try and obviously get in. Every single time he drops, he's doing this, like a wall to protect, a cone on, insta pickaxe out here. He's in, cone in, wall replaced. He's in again. He's cone replaced. In the wall, manages to replace while walking backwards. Now, a lot of players in this scenario go out to the right here rather than like trying to double edit up, because if you try to replace the ramp as they're double editing up, for the most part, you'll drop them down. So a lot of players don't try to go up. So he makes the instinct here to go out to the right and spray through, and he gets a ramp and a wall. You see that small little block that he did there? just this ramp and this floor to protect himself from that angle, from like getting third party there, is so nice. It's just 2 builds, very, very minor. It's just in wood as well. It's not even using hards. And I mean, this guy did get lost. He did try to double edit, but I think there was a cone on top, so he's just dead. Just another example of him toying with his food. He starts to get set up onto the wall, hits a couple doubles, couple triples, couple pieces, single pickaxe. He doesn't really know where the other player is yet, so he can get in. Slides, trying to get through that edit, doesn't work, and like it instantly has the SMG out. Like he's instantly spraying to replace the wall, and he's tried to re-piece out here again, assuming he would run out this way. He actually owns this wall, funny here, between him, but the other player did not make the play, so he's backed up, jumps through, and now is trying to get the piece between here. Very nearly does, but he doesn't get this wall, unfortunately, because Mylan here managed to get it back. So he backs out. I like that he's like slid over, I didn't see because of the server lag, gone over to this left side, so that he's got an angle to get up on. Again, every single time you see a ramp, in this instance, he saw the ramp, he jumps out. No point in attacking an angle that has a ramp. Goes up, full pieces again. Every single time he pieces there, he takes his shotgun out, which is nuts. Just in case he's like, has accidentally full piece at one point, and then he manages to get that. This kid's still sitting there, by the way. This guy, is he playing invis splashes? Is like, I mean, this is, if I've ever seen it, this is atomic bomb versus baby type scenario right here. I'm sure you're not going to try and jump in there. All right, now let's notice the difference between later into this match, right? He sets up here on this diagonal. Yeah, again, very, very similar. It's pretty much just you have to master this position. Like, you have to master being diagonal to somewhere else if you want to be a good box fighter in, you know, in the big 2026 diagonal there, just so you get what I'm talking about. But the big difference is he's no longer doing this in wood. He's now into hards because you're way later into the game. You know, things change when you're in 7th zone and there's still 29 people up. Even though this is like a relatively not that high elo lobby, he still has... Ooh, I like the play he made here, actually. Does he kill him? He does. This is a really good way to get into the box, actually. So, similar to before, he's sitting at an angle where he can't really get shot unless the player runs straight out. And you can usually kind of see very easily when they're going to do that. So, you know, this guy's sitting way back into the box, hitting a peanut butter for whatever reason. You know, it's not... I don't really know what he's attempting to hit here. Like, it's not the best angle I've ever seen in the world, to put it that way. But, knowing this, the other player's now going to reset, right? So he resets. So he goes to the shot, and Boltz quickly resets his own wall. And then all he does is he holds it, just in case that guy runs out of him. Hits the ramp phase, jumps in, and again, notice he's kind of gone to the right. Like, the movement here is very interesting. He makes sure he swings all the way to the right, because that gives him the best angle, right? From this other player's POV here. I mean, he's just looking straight... I was going to look at this person's POV to see, like, how cut off you get, because you can often, like, hide behind the other player's character model. But, yeah, it looks like this guy's just staring at the floor. Imagine he wasn't, right? Imagine he was looking this way. He was facing this direction. It's harder to see where you are once you've jumped in particular with all the like debris from a broken build. And then, of course, we get some server lag, but yeah, he gets the kill after replacing the cone. Again, he's just free building in wood up. This time it does not work. That's what I mean. You can't really, like, this late into the game, doing stuff like that, there's just so many people around you to spray you, to look at you, to do whatever it is. So he's just managed to heal back up. Again, on the diagonal, set up. The other guy seems to have run away. He's got the triple cone. Now he's still sitting in there. Ooh, this guy's dropped down. Edits straight out of his floor. Chases. Nice little window. Resets. Waits for that guy. He literally just holds that pump out, waiting for that guy to shoot the wall, and then edits. All right, we're into moving zones. Wingsuit rotates out. He's basically just trying to land on someone. That's funny. Land and full box them. You usually don't want that. Seems like he does. Just triple editing up onto height. See if he can go up there. 50-50. Hits the shot. Beautiful cone. Angle change is nice, but the other guy drops. Just following. Cone in. Minimum. But of course, the mythic SMG comes in clutch. Some double piece. Diagonal yet again. Obiso down. Down. In the moving zones, when you're like dropping tons of elims, like a lot of what is really going on is just the fact that pros have some of the best aim, right? Like they can 50-50. They can hit an absolute bang of a shot from like a good angle. And they're going to win a whole lot of them, right? The ability to get in, just grab a wall, edit, pump, when other players are like panicking about their end games, like see in this scenario, replaces the wall, just takes a nice little angle, goes. It's about being insanely aggressive and hitting basically every shot. Like, if I tried to do what Boltz is doing right here, I'm missing. That's the problem. Ooh, I was going to say beautiful piece, and then he got hit. Nice escape as well. Great mechanics just to get himself out there into the full box, and then pop the splash grenade into the chug. Now we can get going, right? Like, the speed of that was fast. Of course, he's just healing, but... And again, like a 50-50. In this instance, notice he's not making, like, super safe window peaks, kind of like we saw him do earlier. It's literally, I've hit you with a shot, and now getting in. We're trying to get as high elims as possible. Again, yet again, phasing into the box when this guy was weak. Like, he just reset and edited the wall. There's something that Boltz does a lot. Ooh, nice triple edit, but he misses the pump there, too. So again, like, this edit and angle he's set up on here is not great. It's a left-hand peek. Total 50-50. Like, if you look, you know, not a good angle from at all. Hits the shot. He just waits for these guys to reset quite a lot, and then just walks through and pickaxes it. Got a bunch of people at the backside. He's just kind of full running in. Nice phase in. Gets another elim in the back. Top 3 left. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's the baby from earlier. This is the atomic bomb, and this is the baby we talked about. Is he still playing invis splashes? He's picked up 2 pumps now. Interesting choice. Okay. Let's see if he's actually hard to kill. Hey, he's putting up a good fight. Boltz is getting packed in here. Now he has to go and take height. He's 29 HP. Storm at the back of him and still jumping down to try and kill this kid. That was crazy. Very milkable game. But again, he goes up high so that the other guy can't steal his grenade. Now it's just like a 1v1. He's still got 83 builds. Like, what's crazy about the fact that he kills these kids so fast is that despite the fact he's using so many materials as he does this, he still has so many mats because every time he kills them before they waste anything, right? Like, if you kill someone in like an early... Or sorry, like in an endgame, chances are they have nothing because the elim takes so long, so they just keep building and building and wasting everything. But he just wipes them out so quick that every single time they get nice mats. What a shot that was as well. And a beautiful chop. Clinical until this bit. He's kind of just running around. Nice. Yeah, so these angles from low ground are really nice, right? He's getting sprayed. He's jumping high walls. He's kind of messing up, I'll be honest. Hits another nade so that he has like the fizz itself. Jumps up, sprints. He's trying to look for the angle here. You can see he's like walking backwards. I swear every time I try to do this from here, I just bump my head off of that corner. But, you know, skill issue, obviously. And he ADSs as he jumps with the fizz. 111 and then builds the 2 walls in the floor and the ramp to connect himself. Then does a beautiful bottom 3 tile to chop him so that he can spray this out. Absolutely clinical chop. Resets. Jumps off. So that he has a right-hand peek as he's falling there. And then, I mean, doesn't really work out. So you can see he's trying to do the fizz jump ADS shot yet again. Hits the old grenade. This edit is so good, by the way. Right? Like, look at the angle that he has from here. The right hand in comparison. Plus, he's moving, so he has, like, peeker's advantage. And then he just gets to kill. From this guy's POV, it looks like he just ascends to the heaven to one-pump him there. But yeah, he's crazy. Like the video. Subscribe. Peace.